Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Super Dandori Bros Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Leighton, and with me I have one of my best friends, probably my best friend, Ryan.
Oh, wow. I'm honored. I am legally obligated to reciprocate.
Yes, it's in the contract.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we definitely signed a contract for this podcast.
In blood.
Our audience is so large. Yes, exactly. In blood. Just going back to our roots of Mario games, where there's many a blood pact in a Mario game, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
That's
I don't know
what I
if
thought.
everyone else just didn't play that part, or I don't know what.
Yeah, yeah. It's a forgotten part in the Super Mario RPG. Like, just most people just aren't aware of it.
Yeah, that was pretty gruesome, actually. That whole scene. I'm surprised they got away with that, but Anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, well, today we're not talking about Mario. We're back on the Star Wars train. We didn't expect it to go this long, but we have a lot to talk about, and we're just gonna kind of go through it. We've got a list of games that we've played, and we don't know if it's gonna get where it's gonna go. We're just gonna start. All right, so how about I'm gonna start. So I have a big chunk of the games that I have on my list come from a very specific generation in my life, and it's like in that GBA DS generation. That's like a good swath of the games I played because I was just the age I was at and what I had. And I'm going to start us off with a game that I'm not super fond of, but I was reminded of it from a YouTube video recently, and that's a game called Flight of the Falcon. Now, Ryan, did you ever get a chance to play this horrendous game?
I did not. Part of me kind of was hoping that I'd somehow come, because you mentioned a while back, and I was kind of hoping that I could come into possession of it, just long enough to at least get a taste of what it felt like to play, or at least find some time to watch like some footage of it. But I actually know nothing about this, so I'm going in blind. So tell me, please, what is the Flight of the Falcon?
So, as the name implies, you play as the Millennium Falcon. And I'm honestly just going from memory at the moment. I think you basically are playing different parts of the Star Wars story as the Millennium Falcon. But there's actually, I think there were some parts where you don't play as the Millennium Falcon. There was like a scene where you're in Mos Eisley and you're in a speeder. But it's always from this like third person view. So you're behind whatever you're piloting. And, it's on a Game Boy Advance, GBA. And, there's some games that really push that hardware, right? There's games where I'm like, whoa, I cannot believe they pulled it off on this system. I don't think this is one of those games.
This is one of the unsuccessful test subjects.
Right. I mean, considering the GBA is more powerful than a Super Nintendo, or at least I guess it's not, but I don't know. It depends on who you talk to. I think it's pretty much in that ballpark, right? It's got certain abilities that
it's in the same tier, right?
It's same tier. Just depends. It doesn't have the same resolution, so I guess that's why people nitpick it. But we had some pretty cool games, even like Star Fox, right? I mean, at least that was 3D and worked. But this was so pixelated, and I don't know what it was. The difficulty was just horrendous. Like I never beat this game, but I remember buying it because, of course, as a kid, you see Millennium Falcon on this cover, you're like, oh, that's cool, right? I want to fly that thing, and you see what the game should look like. I think I might have even seen it in Nintendo Power, possibly. And I got it, and I think I beat the first level, and I got to the second level, which was the Mos Eisley one, and I just never got any further.
Imagine like seeing this game in like a cabinet in like a Kmart or something like this, and you're just sort of like imagining like, oh yeah, this is going to be like a Game Boy Advance equivalent of like a Rogue Squadron or a Star Fox experience, and then like it's a game that's so bad that you just cannot get past like the first couple levels.
Yeah, I should have known Star Wars was going downhill after this, but
Yeah, well, so that's a really good point. This doesn't include the beautiful sequel trilogy, Millennium Falcon content. I think that we need a remake.
Oh no. But in the same graphical style.
Yes, exactly, the same graphical style.
Plays on
the
an
Switch too.
N-Gage. No, it was pretty weird. I mean, again, like I know that the GBA can play these games. My very first Game Boy game. I should say Game Boy because I didn't have a Game Boy, but my first handheld was a Game Boy Advance. My first game I ever had for that was Iridian 3D, and it's similar thing. It's a third person shooter game, but you're kind of heading like I don't want to call it first person, but it's not top down where you're looking down on the ship. You're flying forwards, right? And so I don't know how to put it, but like that game actually looked pretty good. I actually went and found some footage of that game, and I was like Iridian 3D, and I was like, wow, that game actually played really well. And then, yeah, this like Star Wars IP completely wasted on this. I don't even know how many sales they made, but it was rough.
Do you know who the developer was
for Flight of the Falcon?
Yeah. Do we know? Is it even someone of note?
I don't know. I know Iridian 3D is actually, I think, made by some people we know, but I can't remember. I'm going to look this up real quick. Flight of the Falcon.
But yeah, there were a lot of special gems on the GBA. One thing that I thought was that like always kind of fascinated me as a kid is like Star Wars is like a premier IP, right? Mm-hmm. There are tons of Star Wars games, and it was like the number one IP basically when we were kids, besides like Pokemon. And I always found it hilarious how the GBA games were like the low budget kind that didn't have like any sort of save mechanism or like battery in it at all. They were all password games, with the exception of one, which I'll talk about later. Does this one also password?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm pretty sure it was a password game. It was developed by a studio called Pocket Studios. I don't know much about.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
They're probably famous for something, and I'm just a dunderhead.
I mean, let's just see if they have any Pocket Studios Moby games. And based in the UK.
That's your problem.
They went bankrupt credited for 9 games from 2001 to 2003. Yeah, they didn't.
Perfect.
They didn't make it.
Oh my gosh. It sounds like they were a game mill.
Yeah. A lot of IPs. So they did. I think actually, Fly the Falcon was their last game. Oh my gosh.
It was their swan song, their Falcon song.
Yeah, because they did Pirates of the Caribbean, Incredible Hulk. They did a Gauntlet game on the Game Boy. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, Lego Racers 2. Like
they did the Fellowship of the Ring on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
I have that game. It is unplayable.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to play through it.
Yeah, you gotta try.
Yeah. So basically, maybe this is a topic better for another day, but the gist is with the Fellowship of the Ring is that you have very limited item storage, and there are certain items that you pick up very early in the journey that you may or may not think you don't know that you need them until the very end of the game, and you like the puzzles are unsolvable because you left that item like way back earlier in the game, so you have to restart.
Oh my gosh.
It's horrible. It is absolutely horrible.
So,
anyway.
So I was just totally side note, but I wanted to look up the people who made Iridian 3D because again, it was a game that, and Iridian 3 was actually one of their first games they made. They make the fast racing games, like the Fast RMX, Fast Fusion, like all those racing games. On the Wii, Wii U, Switch, and Switch 2 now. Yeah, they make all those. Actually, it's like, oh, that makes sense. Like their style makes sense. Like, okay, now I understand. I've been buying their games for years, didn't even realize it was the same company. So it's like Shein, I think is what it's called. So,
okay.
Anyway, yeah. So that was Fly the Falcon. Terrible game. I literally wrote my notes. I say halfway. I don't think I got halfway. I said halfway and gave up. Terrible game. That's in my notes. So
nice.
Now, do you? I've brought up my GBA game, and I've got more, but I'm kind of curious now. For you, is there a Star Wars GBA game that stands out to you? Could be good or bad, otherwise.
Oh, I'd say that in different ways, each of them stands out to me. But the one that I'm going to start with was my first Star Wars game ever. Well, that's not true, because there were PC games that I played. One of which we both apparently played a lot of, and we never talked about all these years. But the one I'm going to bring up today is Star Wars Jedi Power Battles.
Oh, yeah.
Power Battles. I had that. That was like the game in my elementary school. Like every Star Wars guy with a Game Boy Advance had this game but me. And it took some serious convincing of my parents to let me get this game. and because it was rated T, and it's like, oh, you can't have a T game. Like, why would you be able to have a T game? It's Star Wars Jedi power battles. Like, you can't tell what's going on anyway. Like, the rating means nothing. I don't know why it even has that rating. But anyway, that game is so ridiculous. I love it. It's so hard to play. The isometric design of platforming is horrible, especially in the very end with oh no, it's in Coruscant. It's the Coruscant levels are horrible. Did you ever play this game?
I see. Here's the thing. I just now learned, as you're talking, that there was a GBA version of this game.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that because I only ever played the PS1 version of the game at a friend's house.
It looks like, so I saw the Donkey video. It looks like the PS1 version has even more jank, which is hilarious.
Oh, it's so janky. It's like it was the original
jank,
Dark
jank
Souls,
binks,
but
you know what I mean?
but not Dark Souls in a good way. It was Dark Souls in just that it was just brutally hard for no reason.
Yeah. It was, I mean, I played that for hours. I did get stuck on Coruscant for the longest time, but the trick to winning, at least in the GBA version, was just to do the saber slam over and over and over again. And a little tidbit of trivia about this game. So in the GBA game, I don't know if it's the same in PS1, you can play as Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, or Mace Windu. And they each have their own sets or whatever, movesets, which are more or less the same, but the animations look different. Mace Windu's lightsaber is blue because they hadn't actually decided on a color yet because it was episode 1. And so it's really weird to see.
That is weird. I'm looking at the cover, and that's so trippy seeing with a blue lightsaber.
Yeah.
Did they fix that for the new version of the game? I guess it's.
I don't know. That's a good question. But and then I don't know if how far did you get in the PS1 version?
Not too far. I think I got past the first level, the Naboo Gungan level. I feel like I got past that, but I feel like that's where we got stuck because we were playing co-op, and so. I don't remember if we got any further than Naboo. I know we were in the jungle with the Gungans, dealing with Jar Jar, and that's when we I think gave up on the game.
Yeah, pretty much. That looks absolutely horrible, by the way. But yeah, this marks the beginning of my experience with password games because this is the first one that I actually really cared about. I'd had a couple random Game Boy Color games that were password, but I didn't, for the most part, it didn't matter to me. It was the Wild Thornberries or whatever. This one was the one that I gotta beat it because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And in retrospect, passwords actually have some significant advantages to them because it essentially just allows you to have unlimited save files, basically. You can just pull from it as many times as you want. But here's the problem, is that kids are stupid. And they don't write things down on stuff that will last the test of time or put them in places that make a lot of sense. They just sort of throw them on random scraps of paper or tissue paper or paper towels or whatever. And they just get thrown away. So in other words, just throwing away trash in your room is the equivalent of your mom accidentally selling off your memory card at a garage sale or something like that. You know what I mean?
That's so true.
But so password games actually in retrospect it's this actually wasn't a half bad idea. But as a kid it was oh gosh darn, I don't want to have this anyway. But that was my first Star Wars game on Game Boy.
Yeah, that's not bad though. I remember seeing it on the store shelves. I was looking at the cover art and oh, I remember that game. Seeing it, but I literally locked that memory away until just now when you said oh, it's for GBA, and I was oh yeah, because my mind it's always been the PS1 version that most people refer to. I guess it was on Dreamcast as well, but that's what people talk about, right? And it's I don't think there's as many people that actually played the G. I mean, obviously people did, you did, but
yeah, it's funny because it was the opposite for me. I was only aware until the Donkey video of the GBA version. I didn't know that it existed for PlayStation.
Oh yeah, and that's the one they made the Switch remake for. So, well, I mean, it's not just Switch, a bunch of consoles, but still. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's funny. I actually would love to try that just to see what it plays like on GBA.
It's horrible, but you're more than welcome to try.
Yeah. Wait, did you say you still have it?
Yeah, I still have it. It's like right over here.
Oh, wow. Now maybe I'll have to borrow that.
Okay,
Just for the
sounds
fun of
good.
it. I still have my DS, so I can play GBA games. So, well, that's fun.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see what we got.
What's your next like Game Boy Star Wars game?
So let me think. I'm looking through here. So probably, let me see. Star Wars, just the episode 2, the GBA game.
Yep, I had this. Yep, this
was
is the next one I was going to talk about.
the side scroller, right? It's like,
Yep.
wait, was it side scroller? No, wait, was that?
Yeah, this side scroller. Yeah.
Sorry, episode. Yeah, because episode 3 was also.
And it's
side
easily
scroller.
the worst one. It's
Oh,
easily
yeah.
the worst one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I have to like jog my memory because I remember playing it, but like, again, it's like so far, back. I'm like, when did I?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, tell me, like, what do you remember the game?
So what I remember the game is I remember like as a kid I'm just like I want to be like really good at all the Star Wars games, just like the dumbest goal to have. But I remember that one in particular was really awful because if I remember correctly, pressing A, like it was one of those B to jump, A to attack games, but it wasn't even A. It was like you held A and then pressed different directional pad movements,
That's
and
right.
then you would like swing in that direction. But like the way that you are able to beat anything is just to hold A and then tap either left or right, whichever direction you're facing, and then like Anakin or Obi-Wan will just like put their lightsaber out in front of them and just wiggle it around a bunch of times, and it damages the boss faster than they can damage you. And so that is like a Dooku killer. Like, for sure. I beat him every time that way.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking at the back cover of the game, and like I forgot, like the Jango Fett fight, like the first person stuff where you're in the ship. Like I remember doing that, and I actually remember thinking that was really cool though at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like just
I agree.
But yeah, those fights were so janky, and like you just felt like you're getting gypped half the time.
Yeah, and they had like Castlevania level knockback. So like you get hit by one blaster bolt and you fly back like 20 feet into a pit and instantly die. Which is why having those like the password like was actually kind of useful, because it was just so like stupidly difficult. Like it wasn't even difficult in an interesting way. It's like the knockback was just so unfair and the platforming was awful, and like just like in Jedi power battles, if you held R to deflect blaster bolts, like you would just deflect them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in this game, like if you held it, it would only like deflect what was directly like in front of you at torso height. You had to like duck and then reflect in order to get stuff at your feet.
Mm-hmm.
It was like so stupid. It was such a dumb game.
I remember? I don't remember this, but I thought there was a game where you had to like actually deflect at the right time for the. Maybe you just held it, but
this may be it actually.
Because I remember
I don't
something
remember.
being
It's
so
been
annoying.
so long.
It was so hard to deflect.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. No, I think I actually did maybe beat the game. Now I'm looking at like some of the images. I was like, wait, I think I did get further in that game than I remember. But again, it was so long ago.
And it was jank. It was so jank.
Yeah. And then I think I remember there's another GBA again, it was like episode 2, but then there was also the new Droid Army, which is
I have this one as well.
Which is like a completely different style of game, more like a top down. And that one was, I think, a little bit more fun from what I remember, but it was so different that I was like, I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, it was a lot more interesting in my opinion. They brought back the sort of directional pad does different lightsaber movements with A thing, if I remember correctly, but it was more like you would still attack in the direction that you were facing, but you could like leap over them, by holding the up button, or like down would do like this like two-handed slam sort of thing. And then if I remember correctly, right was my go-to, where Anakin would just spin the lightsaber above his head like he's a pretty ballerina, and it would stun lock everything. And I think it would even deflect blaster bolts as you like just twirled across the map. That's just how I got through the game, if I remember correctly. But that one's much cooler because you had both like a permanent health bar and like a temporary health bar, and like force like meditate or whatever, so you could regen your health. So there was like almost an element of like health management in a way that like it would regen on its own, but you had to be very careful not to let your maximum health decrease, because as soon as your like temporary health decrease, then it would start to eat at your maximum health. So it was like actually kind of a much more interesting system. I don't know, like I actually really liked that game. Another password game, but I really liked it.
Yeah. It's funny, I just realized all these are published by THQ, basically. So THQ was just absolutely going to town with Star Wars games on GBA.
Yeah, I wonder if they had like the exclusive license for it or something like that at the time.
Kind of like EA did for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently a lot of these developers too just did not make it. Like I'm looking at the developers for... Wait, that's THQ. I was looking at... There's a company called... Oh, that just links to THQ, but it was like Helix or something.
That sounds about right. Did they do a new Droid Army?
That was a new Droid Army, and then...
Yeah.
I'm trying to see like the game. I was trying to see the other one, but yeah, like I keep hoping like maybe one of these developers, like the Iridian 3D one, but that wasn't Star Wars. But most of the Star Wars ones don't have happy endings. It's like it didn't really work out for them.
Yeah, that's too bad. But in a way, it's kind of representative of Star Wars itself. It didn't exactly have a happy ending as
That's true.
a franchise. Not that it's ended, but you know, it's not exactly on a good trajectory.
Like the episode 2 game is just by David A. Palmer Productions. They're not even linked to anything.
It's like one dude.
It could have been just literally one dude who made the game. And the game came out prior to the film's release. What? That's crazy. Wait,
So you could just know the ending?
Oh, no, so the game was first announced by THQ in February months prior to the film's release. Oh, okay, sorry, I was mistaken. I was like, that's crazy that the game comes out. Didn't the episode 3 game come out before the movie?
The Lego Star Wars version did, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay, but not the actual official episode 3 game.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. God, man, this is just...
But I just remember that my... like the way that I found out how Revenge of the Sith ended in broad strokes was the Lego Star Wars GBA game. That is how I found out how Revenge of the Sith ended.
That's funny. Just literally like just got the whole movie spoiled.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. Like obviously I was a kid. It was like, you know, it was fine. But as an adult, that is certainly not how I would have wanted to have experienced that.
No. Oh, no. So, yeah, just like you buy the game, you're just like, oh. That's, yeah, I'm back to the GBA games. Speaking of, so not GBA, but, so this is when the DS came out, because we're talking about episode 3. I just figured we'll stay on the games that came out like based on the original games. Sure. And episode 3 for DS, we both had that game.
We did.
And that one was actually not that bad.
Yeah, it was actually fine. I think for me, we've talked about this a little bit before, but I think the space battles are the standout.
Oh,
from that
100%.
game.
Like that was like so cool.
That being said, I did think it was really correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there were different levels that you played as, like, you picked either Obi-Wan or Anakin. You just played through like their story, and there were different levels depending on who you played. Is that right? Because I played both the Xbox version and the DS version. I remember one of them does this and the other does not.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, you play as Anakin or Obi-Wan in the DS game, and it's more of a side scroller, but it was actually much better than the GBA, than episode 2 by a long shot. Like it played better. It definitely was hard. I do remember being a little disappointed that it was like felt like a GBA game for most of the game. But now that I look back, I'm looking at like an image of a screenshot of the game. I'm like, I'd go back and play that. I honestly think I'd actually have a good time playing that game again, and especially like you said, because the ship battles felt like we were playing a Rogue Squadron game. It was like the closest thing to a handheld Rogue Squadron game we had.
It was better than Flight of the Falcon.
That wasn't hard.
I know. But I remember like at that time, like the DS was like brand new, right? And it could do like 3D graphics. I remember like seeing a small clip, I think it was like on the news or something randomly, of like just showing a brief clip of the hangar scene in the beginning of episode 3, but from the Xbox game. And I remember like seeing it. I'm like, oh, that looks really cool. And it's like, yeah, this is this is Star Wars 3: Revenge of the Sith video game. I'm like, sweet. That's what the DS game's gonna look like. And so I get the DS game, and it looks nothing like that. It's like cartoony or whatever. But if I remember correctly, there was like a cool like level up system, wasn't there? Or like an upgrade system that
for
you
the
could do.
Xbox or for the DS?
No, for the DS. I'm pretty sure there was. And you could get like skill points that you could assign.
Maybe it was because I think the touchscreen didn't have like special moves or something you could do.
I think so.
I feel
it's
bad.
Been so long.
I feel like I should have done more research before starting this, but like, I just think it's more fun to try and just do this all from memory too. But
yeah, I think in some ways it's almost more interesting.
I like,
you know what I mean? To just be like, what actually comes to mind? Like, how close did we get? And
I genuinely want to buy a copy of this game now.
I have it.
Wait, the episode 3 for DS?
Because of course I do. Yeah, it's right over there.
Oh my gosh! But no, but I
can say this about pretty much any game.
Right, but I kind of want my own copy though too. Well, maybe I don't. Maybe I'll play yours.
Persona 5 right here.
You said what? Wait, what?
I said I also have Persona 5 right here.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, it would actually be kind of fun to do like co-op, like space battles.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. No, that was. Oh, man, I'm waving nostalgia. Actually, it's weird how like I remember as a kid, I thought the game was. Well, I thought it was really fun, but I think now I'm like even more nostalgic for it. So.
Yeah, I remember there was a GBA version, and then there was the DS version. If I remember correctly, the difference was that the GBA version was only like the side-scrolling-esque portions.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it couldn't handle the space battles. But I remember seeing in like the ads for like that were in like Nintendo Power. There were like certain like levels. I think they were like green like background, like they were like in a field or something like that didn't make it into the DS version. I've always wondered if there's actually more differences between them, but I don't know. Do you happen to know anything about that?
Well, I don't, but I'm looking at some of the screenshots, and I think that there's just even the like the side. It definitely like it only has the side scrolling parts, but I feel like the graphics are almost like were better on the DS still.
I'm sure they were, but yeah, I don't know. Like I never owned, like I didn't own both. I just owned the DS version.
Yeah, same.
But it does make me wonder if there are more differences than that.
There might be, but I think the main difference, I think it genuinely was like a GBA game first, and then it just slapped on the ships things and make the DS version feel more special, which kind of makes sense. So actually, you think about the ship part on the DS was really good. That it makes me think that they had a team that just literally all they did was work on that. And so like they're all the energy and focus went to that, and then they're just like, all right, and then I'll slap the GBA portion on there. So it's like kind of almost weirdly worked because you had almost two. I feel like it's probably like 2 developers working on it.
Yeah, I just pulled up like the Google images of this. This is definitely very, very nostalgic. This is great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun playing that game. I mean, I wasn't great at video games back then, so I do remember like struggling a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember the ship battles just being like the highlight and like even the animations on the explosions and stuff, they did such a good job. It just was surprisingly well done. And again, remember, like for everyone who's been listening, I'm a huge Star Fox 64 fan, so just anything that gives me that same vibe and feeling instantly just wins for me. And this was like basically like Star Fox Star Wars kind of thing. It was very, very fun, and to have it in handheld too was just mind-boggling. So I'm definitely gonna have to borrow it from you because I just looked up how much it would cost. Now this is on Amazon, so I have no idea what it would cost. Maybe eBay's cheaper, but it's like $70 to buy the DS Star Wars.
Holy cow!
Yeah, episode 3. I'm like, what? I wonder if eBay's any better.
The GBA version is $15 on eBay.
I guess the DS one's more popular.
I guess so. I mean, understandably so.
Let's see, eBay. Okay, yeah, I can get it cheaper on eBay, way cheaper. Okay, it was just for some reason eBay, Amazon had it for way more, but yeah, you can get it for like if you just
I've
want
seen
the
a listing for
cartridge,
like $10. Yeah.
yeah, it's down to $10, and if you want it with the case or something, it could be a little more. But yeah, maybe I'll pick that up, or I'll just borrow it from you.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you want to borrow.
Yeah, now that I know you're the library of games.
Apparently. Because I never sell any of my games because like I go back to them from time to time, and it's like I never know which one I'm gonna want to go back to next.
See, now I don't, but back then I just couldn't afford. Like, if I wanted to get a new game, the only way to do it was to trade in, like, 5 to 10 games to get like a new one, like, or I'd occasionally save up enough money. It was like, just, yeah, it was. And I know a lot of other people that are the same way, where like they wish they hadn't got rid of games, but like as a kid, you were just dumb. Just dumb kids didn't know like that it would be that we'd want those games back or have nostalgia, because we didn't have nostalgia back then.
Yeah, it didn't exist before our generation. That's it's definitely like a U.S. intelligence level PSY operation, honestly.
Yeah, there's something in the water.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, well,
it's MK Ultra.
Right. Well, I mean, there's a couple games I don't know if there's a lot to dig into, but I feel like I just want to bring them up. Was it Star Wars: The Trilogy, Apprentice of the Force?
Yeah, that was like the original trilogy, like around the time that the what was it, the 20th anniversary or 30th, something like that, came out. Like the one where Lucas added the musical number to Episode 6.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it was around that time. Yeah, so I wanted to bring this one up. I had it too. The great thing about this is that it had the save, but it also had like this awesome level select function as well, and like permanent upgrades that you could collect. So you could, as you're just like running through a level, you'll find like an upgrade, like a permanent upgrade for your like force meter or your health meter or whatever. And I thought that was awesome. I was like really like stoked to see that like start showing up in Star Wars games, because it sort of gave me hope that like from then on we were going to get better and better games. Little did I know there was like a treasure trove of like awesome Star Wars games at that time on like GameCube and Xbox. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know.
Yeah. I remember like really enjoying it. I'll just look it up. I didn't realize Ubisoft is the one that made that game, and they use the same graphics engine as the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time game for GBA. So, which kind of makes sense when you look at the images of it. It has that same kind of, the way the characters move and animated was very like reminiscent of that. I remember it had a very surprisingly fluid animation.
Yeah, back when Ubisoft's name actually meant something.
Right. Yeah, it was actually a big deal back then. I mean, back then I didn't really pay attention to who was developing it, but now I'm looking at like, at least it wasn't THQ.
Yeah.
So, but no, that was a fun one. I do have some fond memories of that. Actually, again, like I feel like I just got to go. Of course, you said you have the game still, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Let me know if you want to borrow it.
I'm just gonna borrow all your Star Wars games.
Yeah, sure.
You'll be like, where'd all my games go? Then I had. Was this a Super Nintendo? No, what was it? Trilogy? No, that's a different game. Princess of the Force. I'm looking at all my games because I just wanted to kind of, because some of them I have memories of, but I don't have much to bring up unless you have. Obviously, if you have more to talk about it, then
there's one more for me. So I like ended up going on eBay like as a kid, probably around the time when the Episode 2 game came out, and I was like, I just want to like see what other Star Wars games exist, because like the way that I found out when a Star Wars game was released was that it started showing up on eBay. Like that's when I knew like, oh, there's actually like a game out there. Like that's how I discovered games. And I found like an original Game Boy, and I still have it, cartridge of the original like Star Wars game. And it's horrible. This is like one of those Flight of the Falcon like level games where I can get like, I think I got to the Death Star once, maybe, but it almost, it feels very unfinished. Um, I don't know if it is or not. I've never like seen anyone play through it. I used to like go back as a kid, like from time to time, and try to get further, and I never really got all that far. I don't know. It's a very arcadey. It's very much like you start the game in like the sand speeder on Tatooine. And you can just like randomly go into different caves, and then eventually you just like, it's like almost like an open world map, and you just like go into it's not open world, but you know what I mean. Like you could just go into any caves you want, and there's like nothing at the end. Like you just hop through it, and so you could just do it if you wanted to, and then you eventually go to the sand crawler, and you just like get to the end of that, and then I guess you're in like Mos Eisley or whatever, and you just sort of play through the movie, but you just have a blaster and it's just janky, like. That's all there really is to it. It's really hard to play. You'd probably need like a Game Shark to get to the end by today's gaming standards. You know what I mean?
This was on the Game Boy, you said?
Yeah, it was on the Game Boy.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking at the screenshot. This is terrible.
Isn't it awful?
Like, what is this?
It's so bad.
Holy cow.
It's funny. I played through the Castlevania classic collection within the past year because I just I would talk to you about this at the time. I just went through every Castlevania released on modern consoles. I'm just like, I never played them before, and I'm like, let's just play them all. And there's one called I think it's called the Castlevania Adventure, and it's on GBA. It's horrible. It's like this tier of game. They're like the same actually. Level of horrible. So I don't recommend.
Oh my gosh.
The only way I got through the Castlevania one was save scumming.
Oh man. Yeah, some of those older games, man, they're rough.
They are. It's like back before games knew what they needed, what difficulty needed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They've learned a lot. And I mean, it was different too. Like there wasn't as many people to program. It was the Wild West of games back then. But there was some amazing gems that came from that too. But it was funny you mentioning games that are just garbage though. There's one game. It's the last game I have that I played that was in my handheld era, and it was atrociously bad. Like clearly was not properly programmed, and that was the Lego Star Wars game for the DS. For the original trilogy for DS.
Oh, the original trilogy.
Yeah,
okay.
Not the Star Wars saga. They just made the Star Wars original trilogy DS. I think it was what it was. Let me look it up.
I saw a bit of this. We have a mutual acquaintance. He's my really good friend. His name's Austin. He owned that at the time. And he's like, look how great this looks on the DS. And I saw him like play as Django. I'm like, that looks awesome. And then you tell me it's awful. I trust you on this one.
I mean, no, it looked good. Don't get me wrong. Like that's what drew me in was like, oh my gosh, this looks like the console level games on the go. Like I was like, this is so cool. But don't be fooled. The game runs like garbage. It is so bad. The controls are bad. The frame rate's bad. It glitches. You get clipped into things. Like the collision is all wrong. You get lost. I just remember being like, why is this game so bad? And then I look up and IGN gave it like a 3. And I was like, oh, I should have looked at that first.
That was back before IGN gave everything and their mom a 10. You know, like a 3 from IGN actually, like, it means something nowadays because it's got to be really bad to be a 3. Mm-hmm. But even back then, like, it was kind of rare to see a 3.
Yeah, but this was like, and I believed it, though, after playing it. I was just like, this game you can't even beat it. Like, I don't even know. I wonder if someone has. It's so broken. I was so disappointed because, again, this was at a time, too, where I had certain friends that jumped ship over to PSP. And we're like, look how much better everything is there. And I couldn't argue. The PSP had better graphics. Like, it had an analog stick, and it was just better. And so they were like, I just wanted so bad to have a victory on the DS. And it was such an insult to me. It was just like, wow, like clearly this is like the worst version of this game. Like it was, yeah, I was so bummed because I really wanted to play the Lego games. I played demos or I played it at friends on the consoles, and it looked like it was a lot of fun, and so I was so excited to have my own. And yeah,
Do you still have it? There's no way
no,
you still have it.
no, I was so mad at that game. I was like, I'll trade this thing in. I don't care.
Okay, because I just went to speedrun.com for this because I was really curious. There are absolutely no runs submitted for 100% for this game. So if you just did a run recording it, you would 100% this game. Or sorry, you would be the world record holder if you 100% of the game.
Yeah, good luck 100%ing this game. It was.
I mean I'm not going to. I don't have the time for that, but I'm just like looking at this. No one's actively speedrunning this, obviously.
I just want to see if there's like a
It's
full playthrough on YouTube or something. If someone's actually gone from beginning to end.
Yeah, they have any percent. They do have all levels. The current world record for all levels is 43 minutes 18 seconds.
43
They
minutes?
they must have
Glitch.
like found some bug to like end levels early or something, like whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, it was. I. And, I don't know. I've gone back and watched stuff on it, and it's like, yeah, it's as bad as I remember. Like, it was just. So yeah, that was just one of those games that really like made me start. I think that might have been one of the games that actually made me start reading IGN more because I was like, I need to know when games are bad. Because again, I didn't have a lot of money to buy games, so when I bought a crap game, it hurt so bad. It was like,
Yep.
I'm not getting a new game for months. Like this is it. So I was like, I was so disappointed. Um, but yeah, so that one stuck with me forever. I'll never forget
Yeah,
that game.
that it's what inspired this episode, I'm sure. You're like, I gotta talk about this.
Yeah, that and Flight of the Falcon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you just have a remarkable failure rate for Star Wars games. Like you've played the bad ones.
I've played the bad ones. Though but I've also played some of the best ones too. So they kind of balance
Yeah,
each other.
that's
I've
true.
played Battlefront. I played, Fallen Order. I've played, I'm trying to think of some of the other really, really. Okay, another game that we haven't talked about. This is getting out of the Game Boy DS thing, but did you ever play the Star Wars trilogy arcade game at like the
I don't
arcade?
think so.
Really? It's like it used to be at, like every arcade when I went to go like Boomers or something.
Oh, didn't
And
this have like the lightsaber?
yes, yes, it
Yeah,
had
yeah, yeah.
you had the
I have
joystick.
played this briefly. Yeah.
I beat it. Like I actually beat the whole game.
Really? How many
Yeah.
quarters?
Well, I was very fortunate to go with a friend for a birthday thing, and they just gave us like a mountain of quarters. And so while everyone else was getting tickets, I just burned it all beating this game, and because I was so determined. And it's only like it's only like 3 levels because it's like basically the you get one level for each of the original trilogy, but like
Mm-hmm.
oh man, I was obsessed with that game. It felt so cool to be controlling the ships and flying and like the lightsaber fight, like the haptic feedback that came from when you're doing the lightsaber fight against Darth Vader. It was like, yeah, it was such a cool experience as a kid. If you find one in an arcade, definitely like it's like there's some people that like go and buy old arcade games and like because they're nostalgic for it. This is the arcade game that if I could go out and buy it somehow and have it in my house, this is the one. Like of any
Really?
arcade. Like I don't care about any other ones. This is the one I would be like, yeah, hold on to this for the rest of my life because it was so cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, we're talking about good Star Wars games. Like, and some people might argue it's not a good Star Wars. I don't care what they say. I think I'd play the heck out of it. It was so much fun playing on Hoth and like just just because it's like an on the rail shooter, right? And you're just moving around,
Mm-hmm.
but it was pretty cool back in the day. So, um, anyway, that's random out of the blue. I don't know why. I really genuinely thought you would have played that game more, but I do.
No, but I did like within the past year, I did get the opportunity to play a VR like Star Wars game. It's at like one of those like more like adult-ish arcade games, like not like in a bad way, but in like where you get the card as opposed to like quarters or whatever,
Oh,
and you like preload it sort of thing. um and they did have, I can't, the name escapes me right now, but the I went there and played like a VR version of it, not the original trilogy, but like a lightsaber like sort of game. It was actually really fun. I was just thinking like it'd actually be kind of cool if like you like the wives like you and I went and did that or something. But
Yeah.
that's a discussion for another time.
Yeah, no, that's
Um,
cool. I know there's a VR game for. I have the Oculus, the Meta. I call it Meta. I call it Oculus because whatever, that's what it used to be. But the Meta Quest 3, and I know there's a Star Wars game apparently for it that's supposed to be pretty decent, but I just haven't.
that's probably it, actually. I think that's what they had.
Yeah, it was like a big selling feature of like the Quest
Oh, wait,
2,
was
I
it
think.
Vader Immortal?
Yes, that's what it was. Yep.
Coolest name. I have no idea if that actually
Yeah.
if it's the actual game or not. It probably is.
Yeah. No, I mean it seems like there's so much opportunity for VR Star Wars, but they haven't really. They only did it once. Maybe it didn't do as well as they hoped.
Maybe.
So, well, what other games? I mean, I've still got a list. I know there's a game that we need to talk about that we somehow accidentally both played. Like we didn't realize we both had played it.
Is it DroidWorks?
DroidWorks, yes.
Yeah, let's talk about DroidWorks.
Let's talk about
Yeah.
DroidWorks. So,
Okay.
what do you remember about DroidWorks?
So what I remember about DroidWorks is that it was my first horror game.
Horror
So
game?
yeah. So I was the dumbest kid. Like imagine the dumbest possible kid. I was beyond that. I didn't read like any of the mission like descriptions and if or like the like requirements for the droid, and if I did, I certainly didn't understand like what the difference between like some of the things that I need, like you know how like in some of them you needed like night vision versus another one you could use a floodlight and they would like drain the batteries different amounts. I didn't know any of that. Like I was just a stupid kid, and so I'd have to ask my mom like every time like what does this word mean. And like I didn't know that like kilograms were weight. Like everything was in kilograms, which by the way, those were like ridiculously heavy droids, like ridiculously heavy. Like now that I know how much a kilogram weighs, I'm like, oh my gosh, these things were actually ridiculously heavy.
Right.
Um, but I did eventually get to. I don't know if I ever actually beat it, but no, I did. How far did you get in it? Did you beat it?
No, because I never owned the game. I always played it at the library near me. Like I would go there and just spend hours on this library computer just trying to beat this game. I had no idea what I was doing, where I was going. I had to start over every time I went in. So
Oh, that explains why you don't know why it's a horror game. Okay. So I still probably have this somewhere. But and I'm definitely finding a copy of it to I'm gonna have my kid play this. They aren't allowed to play anything else until they beat DroidWorks. But they so the reason why this is a horror game is like I think it's the last like 3 or 4 levels, I don't remember. The assassin droids that they've been teasing this entire time are actually like let loose into the map, and they will chase you down, they will hunt you down, they are indestructible. The only way to escape them is to like shut a door behind you or something, and it's not like you can shut any door you want. Like there are very specific points in which you can escape. They are horror games. I used to like psych myself up before I entered a room because I'm like, okay, I know the assassin droid's on the other side of this door. Like I know he's like to my left. I'm gonna have to like roll to my right. I'm gonna have to go across the bridge. I'm gonna have to jump. I'm gonna have to do all this stuff to get away from this stupid thing. And of course, it's got the like janky like voice acting from back then, and so it just sounds scary to a young kid, and it was a nightmare. That was a horror game in disguise.
that's so funny. Oh my goodness. I never got to that point. That's so wild that they even put that in because it just felt like it was like a PC educational game. Like that's the vibe I
Yes,
got.
that's what I was told it was. That's what my mom told me it was. I mean,
It
she never played it,
it
but
lures you in.
it does. It was scary at the end. I mean, I was dumb, so everything was scary if I couldn't beat it. But it's like, oof. Like even now, like just sitting thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I remember getting like really amped up and like
Some PTSD right there.
yeah, and I don't remember what the save system was like. If you could save at any point, or if it was only like you couldn't save during a mission. I don't remember. So
I don't
I don't know
know.
if I could save scum myself.
It
I
was a
don't know.
PC game, so I mean, who knows, right? Like if they had like a quick save or something. Like PC games
Maybe.
tend to be better with saves than console games. So,
Yeah.
but that's funny though. Like yeah, because yeah, I just remember playing a ton of it in a library, local library. But now it's like, yeah, I feel like as we go through all these games, I'm like, oh, I gotta just see if I can get a copy of some of these and play them. Of course, I need like a special like virtual machine to run this game, but
Yeah, this is like one of those games where it's like there's no way that Aspyr or whatever is ever gonna figure this out,
mm-hmm.
and get it ported. But it would sure be nice. I would buy it.
Yeah. Do you have any other games like old like back in the day Star Wars games?
Yeah, yeah. So do you remember there was so there were a couple that I was talking with your brother about actually. One of them was Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds. Did
Yes,
you ever play this?
I'm so glad you brought that up. That is literally one of my favorite games of all time, and I had it with the Clone Campaign expansion as well.
Really? That's cool. I never got to play it. I just saw a mutual friend actually. Like you and I both know this guy.
Mm-hmm.
We never talk about him. But he had like a Mac, like one of the old Macs, and I think he was playing it on that as a kid, and and I remember it was before the clone expansion. It was like the Gungans.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember like it looked like now what I know is an RTS, but at the time I'd never seen anything like it before. I'm like, what is this game? Like I don't like the Gungans that much.
Right. They were an interesting race, but they were like Brandon was into them because they had the Navy, and he was really into Navy races at the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna comment and maybe tell me I was wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure he was into that at the time. And but like I was super into like I beat all the campaigns, of course, and I was super into the Clone Wars one because again at the time Star Wars was my life, and I loved Star Wars, even Episode 2, and but was really cool because I mean basically this was Age of Empires but with Star Wars. That's pretty much the same engine, same. I think it might even be the same people developed it. It's just Age of Empires but with Star Wars, but it had level builders, like you could make your own maps. So I would go in
Wow.
and just just create these whole campaigns for myself. And you could get pretty in depth with it, but like I was trying to like replicate like the Clone War fight where like I just made like I gave myself like all these units, but then I gave the enemy a bunch of units, but I put a bunch of walls in between so they wouldn't just spam me. It was like the idea was like they were trying to attack me and I was having to build my defenses, and I was trying to create my own campaigns and or even maps to play multiplayer on. I don't think I ever got to play multiplayer, but I just was like super into this whole thing. So, and of course I knew the cheat codes just like any other Age of Empires game, and it was my favorite one was Simon the Ewok, and it was so much fun. I still remember it because it was so much fun. Basically, he's just a little Ewok, and you're thinking, oh, yeah, he's just so simple. He's walking around a little walkie stick, and then he shoots lasers out of his stick, and then the lasers are not very accurate. They're like this really awful spread fire, but any laser that hits is instant death for any unit, like just instant death.
Oh my gosh.
And it was so great. I just was like, I knew how to, control C, control V, and I just made like a whole army of them. And I would just defeat, like, there were certain campaigns I just didn't want to play, so I just Simon that you walked my way through them. You could also build a Death Star. That was only possible through cheats. And if you shot it, it basically eliminated like a quarter of the map. So you could just spawn the Death Star. Because I removed Fog of War. Then I would just find the enemy base and just spawn the Death Star there and just instantly win. Now that wouldn't work.
That's hilarious.
It wouldn't work on levels where you had to rescue people and keep them alive. So I did have to summon the Ewok the way through certain levels and go through all the cutscenes. But certain levels where it was just defeat the enemy, I would just Death Star my way through it. It was so funny. I think
I did not know that this was available on Steam.
Oh, yeah. Oh, do I? I don't know if I have it.
You have it. Yeah, I see that you have
okay,
it.
I got to re-download this game. Like, honestly, I seriously, so many memories. I'm sure it had its issues. Like, so unlike Age of Empires, you do have aerial units, and those they kind of in a way break the game. Like there are stuff to defeat aerial units. It's like one of the units, like the land units you can make is just an anti-air unit. They just have missiles and they absolutely decimate aerial units. But there's certain classes like races, I wouldn't call it races, but groups that just had these, like I think the rebels had incredibly good air force. So I think the Empire did too to a certain degree, but the rebels were exceptionally good because they had you had speeders, you had X-wings, you had Y-wings, maybe B-wings too. I don't remember. They had a lot of different fighter types, and if you knew how to use them right, you basically were just super powerful. The only thing the Empire could build AT-ATs, which were actually a unit that was able to attack ground and air units because of how tall it was. But it was very interesting because you could just you could build all the walls you want, but if the enemy has an air force, then and you don't put anti-air defense turrets everywhere, doesn't matter. So but you build your bombers, you build your fighters, you could build transports, all kinds of stuff. So super fun. I now need to go re-download this. Another RTS that came out. Well, I don't know if you played Empire at War.
No, I never did, but I remember it being heavily advertised.
Great game. Another great game.
Yeah.
And way different than
I just added both to my wish list on Steam for when they go on sale.
Oh yeah, definitely get those. I think I got them all as a bundle on Steam, but I originally bought them back when you bought PC games in stores. I had the discs. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened to them. I'm really sad. I think I have Empire at War, but it was back when you needed 2 to 3 discs to install a game, and I'm missing one of those discs for some reason. So I was really bummed.
I blame your sister.
I probably her. But Empire at War was very different because there was space battles, and it was just super dynamic, really cool because there was each ship would have different areas you could target on it. So you could if you wanted your fighters to come in and attack the shields or the guns, or you could attack certain parts of ships, or if you'd have a space station, you could tell it to attack again. You could be very strategic about how it attacked certain things, and you had different units, you had different classes of ships. What was cool about the Rebels is that they had a super carrier class that was you couldn't destroy the shield generators on it. On the Star Destroyers, you could target the shield generators, take them out, and now it's way easier to destroy. But on these was the Admiral Akbar's ship was not Mon Mothma, but the Mon Calamari cruiser, I think it was super powerful. And the only way to defeat it was to bring the shields down to 0 and then start beating it. So it was super cool. And then the land battles were just completely different. The way they played, the way the units you would actually deploy units. You had to be at certain places, and you could just these carriers would come in and deploy units to your you weren't building units. You had to buy all the units before you engaged in a land fight.
Oh, interesting.
So you were doing a lot of economic, you had to control different planets, and then you'd have to build things from space, just micromanaging. You'd tell I want this planet, and you tell it you want to build refineries to build and different things to accrue credits and resources. But you weren't directly down on the planet doing it. You were just building it from space. But then if someone came and attacked your planet and you didn't have any space defense, for example, you would just instantly be engaged in a land fight, and whatever units were there, you have to use to defend. So you were trying to manage how many units you used to defend each planet in case it was under attack. You could kind of see where your enemy was and if there was units coming their way. So you always want to have some space defense first, so that you could buy yourself some time to get some land defenses there for when they did the land assault. Anyway, it's a very, very much more dynamic, maybe more. I don't know what to compare it to, but just a very more modern type of RTS. So I think you'd
really
like both.
Good, actually. That sounds actually really, really good.
Yeah, Galactic Battlegrounds is more arcadey. Like I said, it's more Age of Empires. It's a little bit the characters move a little bit more abruptly, whereas you play Empire at War, everything's very fluid. Your fighters move. If you tell them to change course, they fluidly change, turn around, and move. Your ships have to actually maneuver backwards. They don't just instantly 180 and to start heading that direction like they do in Galactic Battlegrounds. So it's definitely feels a little bit more like you're actually controlling an army in real time. So anyway, two amazing RTS games. It's just a shame we haven't really got any new RTS games from Star Wars. But yeah, definitely. I mean, they still hold up. They're still fun to play if you're willing to put the time in.
Yeah, it's a shame that we haven't gotten very many good games from Star Wars, because the last one that I'm aware of that released was Outlaws, as of the recording.
That was, I wouldn't call it a good game, but yeah.
Well, no, but I just mean the last Star Wars game that released.
Yeah. And then Survivor, like, I hear it's still good, just not as good as the first one.
Yeah, I need to get around to playing that.
I just can't. My PC can't handle it. I've got to upgrade my PC before I can, so that's on my list. But yeah, well, I think I'm looking at my list. I feel like I've covered just about every game I don't know if you have any more games on your list that you want to bring up that maybe you played.
Quick shout out to there's like this one Pit Droid puzzle game on the PC, where it's like isometric, but I think they're square tiles. I don't think they're hexagonal, and you just have pit droids that are different colors, and you're trying to get them from one side of the map to the other, and you're trying to prevent like the different colors from crashing into each other, and you're just trying to get them there. It's kind of a fun puzzle game. I enjoyed that. That was pretty good. Obviously, from around that era, but one we've already discussed is Episode 1 Racer.
Yeah. Do we not? We've talked about that a lot, though, haven't we? Right?
I think we did, yeah. Which is why I didn't bring it up. But that is, but still deserves at least a shout out in this episode, because it's just that good.
It's that good.
Then the sequel, Racer's Revenge. I did recently get that for PlayStation, which I guess, like, it had just been around, like, it had been out, but I never played it. And that one's sort of more combat focused. It's kind of interesting, but I never got very far.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it, but I didn't remember many people talking about it the same way as the first game. The first game was just legendary.
Yeah, like, for whatever reason, it was the perfect storm of just awesome and jank. It's just really good.
Yeah. Did you ever play the original Super Nintendo Star Wars games?
I did not.
See, I did, but not like really far into them. I had, again, a lot of my video games were played at friends' houses, people who had them, and I do remember playing like a bit of all three of them, because they had 3 different games. I believe it was like one for each of the original trilogy.
Super Star Wars, Super Empire, Super Return of the Jedi.
Yep, and it's very similar to like the trilogy that was on GBA. Just it didn't play the same, like it didn't look the same, but it's the same in the sense that it's a side scroller. You're playing through the Star Wars, stories, that kind of stuff. But
yeah, but are they really called that? Like, I know Super Star Wars is a thing.
Yeah, that's what they're called, Super Star Wars. Like, what do they call it? It's like, I know one of them is just called Super Star Wars. So let's see.
I feel like that's what we need now, just to reboot it and call it Super Star Wars.
Yeah, Super Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, and then Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay. So it's like Super Star Wars, and then it has a subtitle. Okay.
Yeah. But back in the day, it was just the original movie was just Star Wars. There was no Star Wars: A New Hope. So it was Super Star Wars, Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi. But they were their own games, and they were all on the Super Nintendo. So it was a big deal. And, THQ apparently. So,
yeah.
I guess they were good back then.
Sort of around that era, but kind of not. Not a game, but I remember the original trilogy box set that I mentioned that were sort of like redone by Lucas, and added the musical number to Star Wars 6, which everyone loves. The 4th disc on that is actually really cool, because it's got a lot of the making of, and I don't know if you've ever watched that, but just quick shout out, that is actually an awesome documentary that they made on how they made.
Was that the DVD pack?
Yeah. It's actually like really good.
I think I have that. I remember I do remember watching all that stuff. It is really cool, like insane amount of content on that.
Yeah, like that is like totally worth it. I'll probably borrow it from my dad at some point and just like show it to Katie instead of like a movie. We'll just watch that. Yeah.
I should say I had it. My parents, I had it, but it was at my parents' house. I don't know if it still exists there or not. I'd have to go see if they have it. But I do remember loving that so much. It was like this. I had the special box and everything, and I kept it all nice and neat. And I was just like, yeah, those discs were well worn. So
yeah.
I actually have
Absolutely.
the original. I believe I haven't had a chance to watch them, but at a yard sale I got the original trilogy on VHS, and it's like the 1995 version, so it's before
That's
the
probably the
digital
one I.
enhancements.
That's probably the one I watched as a kid.
Yeah, and so I just really want to find a way to watch them. I think my parents still have a VHS player, and I want to see. I'm just terrified that like the tapes are no good. I'm just gonna. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if I try it and the tape wrecks. It's just it is what it is. The movie's not worth anything, but I want to see
Yeah.
if like I can watch those and see what version is on there, because I want to see the versions before all the digital changes. Because I think most of the
Hmm.
time, if not all, the only time I've ever watched Star Wars was after they did all the digital enhancements. Because it was like 1996, I believe, that George Lucas went back and changed everything.
Oh,
And that
maybe
was
that's the one I saw then. I don't
yeah.
know.
Well, like I remember like if you'll know, because there's in the original movie there's a scene where you see all the X-wings coming into, like, it's very kind of iconic scene, but it's not in the original movie, where they're all flying towards the Death Star,
Hmm.
and like it's all CG, like, and so I don't think that was in the original one. There's a few other things that they added too, like they added Jabba the Hutt in
Yeah,
CG.
yeah. This is okay. So the one I saw as a kid was before that.
Okay, so but yeah, I want to see if it's the original one, because I just think that'd be cool. I feel like Disney should do that though. I know they probably won't, but it'd be nice to have like, and here it's like you can watch the new versions, or you can here's literally the original Star Wars as they
Like the
were.
theatrical cut.
Yeah, like I'd love to be able to watch the theatrical cut for all those movies and see how they were originally, you know, brought to the world. So
Yeah.
I will say
It-
I do think that the ending at episode 6 is better in the new versions than the original version.
oh, the one where they
The,
substituted in Hayden Christensen.
no. That part I don't agree with. But the ending where it shows all the different planets celebrating the end of the Empire, and the music is
Okay,
better.
yeah.
The music they chose for the new version is better too. Like you watch the original ending and it's like really weird, like, because
Hmm.
it's just on Endor, it's just the Ewoks, and the music's completely different, and it doesn't have the same vibe of like, hey, we just literally defeated the Empire. Um,
Yeah.
it's so I there's some things they did fix, change, that I do think actually did improve the experience, but not everything.
Yeah, I think there are definitely some things that are just like objectively better.
Hmm.
The musical number being one of them, like absolutely necessary. Definitely don't skip through that anytime I watch it.
Yeah. Oh,
But
but the Sarlacc pit looks cooler now too. They gave it more.
exactly, that actually is what I was thinking of, was the Sarlacc pit. I actually think that makes that a way better scene.
Yeah. So they definitely did certain things that were better. But yeah, the musical number thing is like, what the heck? Like growing up,
Yeah.
I watched it and that was just in there. I didn't even know that wasn't an original movie, because
That's
of course I didn't.
wild.
Well, yeah, because I mean, as a kid, I didn't know any better. Like it was my first time watching Star Wars. But now I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, of course that wasn't an original. It's all CG. Like what? What is this? So
I swear, like every few years, Lucas just went back and was like, what crazy thing can I add to this that people will still defend?"
well, it's almost like you create something that's super amazing and popular, and you just don't know how to move on from it. Like
Hmm.
J.K. Rowling's the same way with Harry Potter. Like she just hasn't moved on, and she keeps retroactively changing things in her books. And it's like it's the same with George Lucas and Star Wars. Like it was almost he needed to sell it, so he just would stop. It was like a drug
Yeah,
that he was addicted to, and so his
yeah.
therapist told him, "You should sell Star Wars."
That therapist is the ultimate villain at
Yeah,
this point.
no, he sells it to Disney, and she's like, "No, not them."
Yeah, it's just like I was thinking, like anyone but them.
Well, it's sad too, because at the time, I actually thought it was a good thing. I genuinely thought
Me
that
too.
Disney,
Me
with
too.
all their money, and like they were gonna go back and redeem it, but then they just didn't. They just ruined it.
Yeah.
Well, because at the time Marvel was doing so well, like what they were doing with Marvel was really cool at the time. They were actually nailing it, and I thought if they
Hmm.
did what to Marvel with Marvel, like what they to Star Wars, it could be really cool. But
Yeah, because everyone saw that and immediately thought Boba Fett movie. You know what I
mhm,
mean? Like everyone was like, "There's so much untapped potential here," and
mhm,
Disney like it because that was back when the Disney name actually meant something, and well, something other than crap.
mhm,
And you could just envision like, yep, you could get like sort of like an ensemble, or not an ensemble, but like a, like an anthology like series of movies. Like you would just get like a Boba Fett movie, and then you would get, I don't know, like a, because that's the unique thing about Star Wars, is that there are just so many characters that had random like action figures made of them, that people like Star Wars fans know the name of like every random person in Star Wars. Like every single person that's ever appeared on screen has had like a stupid action figure made and has a name and has a backstory and all this crazy stuff. Like you could just make a movie about literally anyone, and that's the only like IP that you can do that for. Truly.
Yeah, it's one of those few IPs that actually has room to grow outside. Like you can do the world building and still like, I don't know, the world sustains these other stories.
Yep.
So, but yeah, that's funny.
But
we just got into a Star Wars rant.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we knew it was going to happen.
Oh yeah.
We've probably complained about Disney like in all 3 episodes, haven't we?
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. I still haven't watched Rise of Skywalker. Probably never will. I just lost all interest.
Yeah, Katie, my brother, and I watched it during COVID for the memes.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
I don't know. I guess I just don't have, like, I think there was a time where I had more free time. I would just watch movies even if they weren't like the best. But now I have such little free time. I'm like, I will literally look up everything online to make sure that if I'm going to spend time to watch the movie, it was worth my time. Yep. It sounds so silly and trivial, but like I'm just like, I just don't have the time to sit and go through a movie and be like, what did it just be like, what did I just watch?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get to that point pretty soon.
Unless you're on the plane.
I feel like. Yeah, I know,
Sorry.
right? Then,
Sorry,
then you're just looking. No worries. But yeah, then you're essentially just looking for something to pass the time, which is why you buy a Nintendo Switch too.
Yep, that's the moral of the story right here. We've all been leading to this end of the Star Wars episodes. Buy Switch 2.
Yep, absolutely.
So, well, I think that's gonna wrap it up. That's definitely the end of our Star Wars segments. That's the trilogy. Ironic that we had a trilogy, and then the middle one was literally just Battlefront.
Yep. I mean, because it deserved its own.
Yeah, that's
episode.
The Empire Strikes Back of episodes right there. It's the best one. So, but yeah, well, thanks everyone for listening to our Star Wars rants, and again, we really would love to hear from you guys. If please no, if you've gotten to the end, we'd love to hear your comments. What Star Wars games we maybe missed, which ones we've mentioned that you have fond memories of. If you think we're wrong about it, please just scream at us in the comments. We'd love to argue with you. And
absolutely, we have our comment bouncer.
Yep. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. I hope even if you hate listening, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for the views.
We appreciate the view. Yeah.
So
yeah, go out and find a Game Boy, like original Game Boy cartridge of the original Game Boy Star Wars and give it a whirl.
Yeah.
It'll be worth your time.
Try to convince us that somehow it's not bad.
Yeah. That's your homework.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, thank you, everyone. This has been Super Dandori Bros. I'm Leighton. He's Ryan. We'll talk to you again next time. Bye.
See ya.